What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mod Squad Network. Layeth the squad down. I'm your host, Kevin. Joining me as always is Steve.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing? How you doing, Kevin?
Doing pretty good, bud. Doing pretty good. Had a good week of wrestling this week.
We did, and I did a little live. We did a taco fest. If you happen to be in Bakersfield yesterday, you weren't there. It's okay. It was a day of wrestling. People did not care. I was a referee. I did not give any real 10 counts when they went out of the ring. I just followed them around. But boy, what a week of wrestling we had. Let's go ahead and take care of Raw and SmackDown so we can get to the good shit.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of agree with that. Raw opened with a reunited Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens making their way to the ring. They joked a little bit with the crowd about how both liking how they got a warm reception with each other and stuff like that. But it wasn't long before KO issued a challenge for the tag team titles, to which Jimmy and Jay showed up and said no. And then Jay is like, you know what? This could be our KO problem and our Sami Zayn problem taken care of. So we do accept. So there you have it. Another match at Mania made. And then
another match for Mania predicted by me like 4 months ago.
Dude, it was predicted by more than just you. It was predicted by just about everybody who watches wrestling on the regular.
I know. I was the first to say it, though. I just want to go on the book saying I was the first to say it.
You were the first to say it on this show, correct? Montez Ford versus Austin Theory, with Austin Theory picking up the win. They're pushing Austin Theory. I don't think he has a match at Mania yet.
John Cena, baby.
Oh, that's right. It is John Cena. Yeah. Austin Theory's not going to lose a match until then.
I don't even think he's going to lose to Cena. I think it's for the United States Championship.
It is, and he's not going to lose. He's not going to lose. And it's going to be a quick match. It's going to be the opening match of Mania, as a matter of fact. It is going to be the very first match of Mania. Mustafa Ali versus Omos with
Omos.
It's almost is what it is. He's almost.
I noticed they did something very interesting. His gear spells out Omos, but the O is Omega, and the A is Alpha, which I thought was very clever.
It was.
No, because he is not. Because he is. Well, it's also very funny because he is not an Omega male. He is a complete Alpha male.
Yeah. This was an incomplete match. This was definitely a squash, and it didn't even really end. So, it was a weird match. Then we got Impulsive TV with Logan Paul. The Miz tried to approach Logan Paul before he went to the ring for his talk show, but the social media star had no interest with the Miz.
And that's I don't okay. I don't like Logan Paul to begin with. But what I like even less is they walk away. He's like, "Oh, that's going to be a hard pass there, big guy." And they walk away, and the guy next to Logan Paul goes, "Who was that?" And Logan Paul goes, "Oh, I have no idea."
Yeah, it was weird because the Miz is the one who
brought him into WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
Like the whole reason that Logan Paul, like you're not so big. I almost dropped an F-bomb there. Like you're not so effing big that you don't remember or know who the Miz is. Like I guarantee, like more people in the world know who the Miz is than Logan Paul is.
Definitely, I kind of agree with that. But Paul was talking, and all of a sudden his mic cut off, and then it shows that Seth Rollins is in the truck messing with him. Then he ends up making his way down to the ring. The Visionary.
I'm sorry. I love that he goes, "Oh, this button, yeah. I got." And then the music hit. Yeah. Paul is so, dude. Logan Paul is so dumb. Shut up! Oh, you're tone deaf. You can sing. Shut up.
And then they have a little back and forth, and then the Visionary tripped him with both legs and began to beat him down. They fall at ringside until several officials pulled them apart. It was like a little brawl.
It's a little scuff, and then Paul hits a surprising one punch knockout that he probably quote unquote learned from his brother.
Well, they say that it's because he has that screw in his hand, so that's why he's able to have a one punch knockout.
Oh, he's got a screw in his hand.
Yeah,
He's got
kind
a
of like
screw loose in his head.
the Lex Luger forearm because
Okay.
he had the plate, you know. Then we had Johnny Gargano versus Dominic Mysterio. This was actually a decent match. I actually think Dominic Mysterio is improving in the ring. He's improving on the mic. It
He
was a
really
decent
is.
match.
He really
Yeah,
is.
it was a decent match with Dominic getting the win. I mean, it does help he was going against Johnny Gargano, who's a little bit smaller size and is a real true worker. But yeah, it does help. Then we get Rhea Ripley versus Bayley. Rhea came out in street clothes and delivered a promo about her match against Charlotte Flair. Damage Control came out and talked some trash, which led to a contest between Ripley and Bayley. And Adam Pearce actually made it official immediately. I love how that's his thing now. It's official. I see his damn Twitter all the time. It's official. It's official. And he just retweets something. So it's weird. But yeah, this was an awesome match because Rhea was not in her gear, so she just wrestled in like a tank, which was freaking amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Rhea Ripley in less clothes, please. I love it. But yeah, Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus came out to, equalize Damage Control, but Rhea definitely got the win on this one. Ricochet versus Chad Gable. Ricochet wins. Move on. Asuka and Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. This was the final segment. Asuka and Bianca Belair win. The match was fine, but what came after was the only thing you need to see because Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns met in the ring for the final segment, but the Tribal Chief wasn't alone. He had Solo Sikoa. I changed it. Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman by his side. Both men gave statements. And this was a really impromptu, really good segment because, Roman was like, you got to remember, wake up and move on. You got to move on and wake up and realize what you have to do and stuff like that. And then Cody was like, you got to remember what it's like to lose. And when you lose, Jay's going to leave you. When Jay leaves you, Jimmy's going to leave you. And then after that, this man becomes an advocate again. And then Solo, you know what, Solo, you've been looking at me all night. Is something wrong with you? And he's like, you know what, you do all this and all that. You think you're ready, but it's something I had to learn. You're not ready. And then he went back to Roman, and Roman just left Solo there. And they had a little face to face. And Solo was about to leave the ring after
He needs to not announce the thumb.
Yeah, yeah. He does the Umaga thing and announces the thumb. But yeah, Roman called Solo, said let's go. As Solo was about to get out of the ring, Cody goes and just like I said, you're not ready. He announces the spike and then gets a boot to the freaking face.
How dare Cody take Asuka's catchphrase?
Yeah, you're not ready. I get it. But that's Raw. It's starting to build up. It's building up nicely. They're not really pushing, some of the smaller things. They're really pushing
Well,
the bloodline, which is what they should.
We're on the final road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is next week. Like
Exactly.
this time next week, I'll be at WrestleMania Sunday with my brother, hopefully watching Roman Reigns beat Cody Rhodes.
That'll be awesome, dude.
I'm hoping. I'm praying.
Hoping. Fingers crossed.
I unfortunately was at the Rumble where The Rock beat Punk. I was very unhappy with that drive home. I very hope that I don't have a bad drive home. I'm not gonna have a bad drive home. I was a child then. I wasn't feeling. But yeah. So we're about to have the final Raw and SmackDown before WrestleMania. So anything big that's gonna happen,
it's a ramp up. But I feel like they're not hyping things enough as much as they did in the past. especially the lower card matches. I mean, yeah, they're really pushing the bloodline angle between both KO and Sammy and Cody Rhodes, but I think we all know what's going to happen with the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns match. So it's not one of those ones that's unpredictable. It's kind of predictable what's going to happen. So I feel like they should probably focus more on some of the other matches. But that's just me.
Okay, well, with that, we move right on to SmackDown, right?
Yep. Cody Rhodes versus Ludwig Kaiser. Um, this was actually a long, decent match with Cody Rhodes getting the win.
Of course.
Then we had a Charlotte Flair promo, which was, basically saying she's better than Rhea and everybody else in the ring. That's all that happened. This was one of the things coming up that was really good. Rey Mysterio versus L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, this was a decent match. Actually, LA Knight got the win because it was a distraction finish with Dominic coming down, and Dominic actually grabs the mic, gets in his mom's face, and says it's her fault too that he was a deadbeat dad, and told her to shut up. And oh my god, like I felt this, like I felt being a parent, I felt this. Ray coming over and just hitting Dominic, just and like, you don't talk to your mother like that. That's my wife. You don't talk to her like that. I felt it. It all the weeks building up to it, with Ray being like, I'm not going to fight my son. I'm not going to fight my son. That moment when the son actually turns from the father and starts yelling at the mother, I get it. It totally worked for me being a parent. I totally get it. And then seeing Dominic go up the ramp and then Ray having that instant regret look on his face, it played out perfectly to me. I thought it was well done. Very well done. My personal opinion.
And
What'd you
then
think?
that just sets up for Mania. What we finally
Yeah.
get to set up for Mania.
Yeah, it was well done. But next we get the women's tag team showcase qualifier, which there's no stakes in this whatsoever. I don't understand why this is even a match. It'd be better if they just had a battle royal.
I mean, in
Shots.
reality, they could have like the winner of that match is the people that get the shot at the women's tag belts. I guess I think that might be what they're doing.
But they haven't announced it yet, and we're 2 weeks away from Mania. So I mean,
Ooh,
announce
well, at that
something.
point, we're 2 weeks. We're now 1 week away.
Yeah. So Shotzi and Natalia versus Lacey Evans and Zia Lee. Of course, it's Shotzi and Natalia getting the win.
Thank God.
And then what was it? Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler came out and says, "Oh, we were added to it as well." So,
We don't even need to qualify. We're just
yep.
automatically in it.
Basically, that's exactly what happened. Next, we get the Intercontinental Championship contract signing with Gunther and Butch by their side. Uh, it was a weird signing. They all signed it. It wasn't your normal contract signing where there was a big brawl afterwards. Gunther actually turns to Butch and says, "What are you looking at?" And Butch attacks Gunther. Of course, he jumped over the table and attacked him. So they had a match: Butch versus Gunther. Gunther wins. It was a nothing match. But at the end, we had the KO show with Sami Zayn. It was friendly banter and the presentation of the new KO Mania shirt because it had KO Mania on the back and it had WrestleZania on the front. WrestleZania on the front. So it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool shirt. The front gave away to a sneak attack by the Usos and left Zayn lying on the vengeful Owens wielding a steel chair. Basically, after that, they separated. That was all. That was all you need to know for SmackDown. It was an attack. KO grabbed a chair, which got the attack off of him. No, nobody got hit with a steel chair, and they moved on. So there you have it. That is Raw and SmackDown. Let's move on to some
AEW. And what I'm going to
yes.
do is I'm going to go over Rampage before I even go over Dynamite because Dynamite was by far the better of the two shows this week,
I
especially
agree.
our main event. I'll run it down real fast. It ends up because I want to say last week we had Hobbs versus Ray Phoenix. So Rampage started with Penta versus Hobbs for the TNT Championship. Hobbs, of course, coming on up top. Brody King took on Jake Hager, in which Anna Jay made her return, attacking Julia Page. Julia Hart. Julia
Yeah,
Hart.
Hart.
Brody King picks up the win over Jake Hager. Layla Gray
Oh.
goes up against Taya Valkyrie, trying to serve her the papers of the re-enlisted services of. I just forgot the lawyer's name.
Yeah, it's the lawyer for AEW.
Oh man, it bugs me so much that I actually just forgot his name. But it's so funny because smart Mark Sterling.
There
That's
you
who
go.
it's smart Mark Sterling. Because she had when Stokely Hathaway first came in, Stokely was with her, and then she got rid of Stokely, and then she brought back Smart. I don't know. It's interesting to do what they're trying to do with Jade Cargill. Either way, Taya Valkyrie picks up the win. The main event, which I actually really enjoyed, which I would say of the 4 matches was the match of the night, and that's the Kingdom of Mike Taven and Mike Bennett going up against the Acclaimed, in which it's a great back and forth. Maria.
Wait, the Acclaimed? Sesame, Stevie S.
Ah! I was waiting for you to catch it. Maria Bennett ends up getting chased away from ringside. It's a great back and forth. I really like the Kingdom and everything that they have, that they offer with Bennett and Taven.
Not a Mike Bennett fan. Not a Mike Bennett fan.
No?
No.
I am. I like the Kingdom.
Okay. That's fine.
I liked what they did in Impact when they were with Honor No More. And the Acclaim come up on top, of course. Man, let's get into Dynamite.
Yes.
God damn Dynamite. All right, so Dynamite started off with a triple threat. Not a triple threat, a 6-man tag of Orange
Before that, they showed that the Young Bucks was put into an ambulance and taken to a hospital because they were attacked before the show.
This is true. That is how the show started. The Young Bucks were taken away in an ambulance. Hangman Page went with one of the Bucks at the beginning of the show. We then get into Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Sting taking on the Butcher, the Blade, and Chris Sabin. When it's all said and done, Sting ends up getting the pin on Sabin.
I have thoughts on this match. Did not like the no-sell punches that Sting was doing for the Butcher. I did not like. I don't like it when you no-sell a punch,
especially when it's someone like the Butcher.
Exactly.
Like the Butcher hits you, you should be hitting the ground.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big man, and Sting was no-selling, not even a little sell. It was a complete no-sell. I didn't like it at all.
Like, I get it. You're supposed to be the icon Sting. Oh,
yeah.
You're 60 years old.
Exactly.
Even Flair sells. You're not the Undertaker. We get Top Flight going up against the Guns for the AEW Tag Championships. Great back and forth. Of course, in the end, the Guns end up winning it. Hook ends up.
Before we move on, you have FTR coming down to the ring at the end of that match with them challenging the Guns for the belts and saying, the Guns saying you have nothing to offer, and they go through a couple lists and they finally settle with, if we lose, we will leave AEW forever.
Well, I thought they said if we lose, we'll stop being a tag team.
No, they said that. Then they said if we lose, we'll something else. Then they're like, no, you don't understand. You have nothing to offer. And then finally they settle with, if they lose, we'll leave AEW forever.
See, I'll be honest. I was already just so excited for the main event itself. Like promos and stuff, I barely remember. We then have Hook going up against Stokely Hathaway because of the stipulation from the previous match. It was a big throwaway. Of course, Hook is going to beat the hell out of the manager. Adam Cole, which my phone here... Bye-bye. Which my phone auto-corrected to Adam Coke. That's funny. we find out that he's coming back to the ring next week on Dynamite.
Yep.
And people have been wanting to know who his next opponent is going to be. And who comes out to interrupt him but Daniel Garcia of the Jericho Appreciation Society, the epitome of sports entertainment.
I know he's a heel and he's doing his job because he is so douchey. So douchey.
I love it, dude. I love everything that Daniel Garcia is doing. And he comes out and he goes, Adam, you've been gone playing your video games on Twitch. What have I been doing? And then he just goes through it. Danielson, beat him.
Beat him.
You know what I mean?
Brody King.
Brody King, beat him. He just goes through everybody that he's beat. And he's like, what do you have to offer? You're nothing. I am a professional sports entertainer.
Yeah. He corrected himself. Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia because it is two great entertainers, wrestlers, call them what you will. They are going to go out there and they are going to leave it all on the mat.
I agree. And like I said, Garcia's doing a great job because he's making me hate him. So he's doing a great job because he's a douche. He's being very douchey, and that he's doing his job. He's becoming a great heel.
Sure. The next two matches, I'm not going to lie, good matches, but throwaway matches. Yeah. John Moxley taking on Stu Grayson, the returning Stu Grayson. Moxley, of course, wins. And Tony Storm taking on Sky Blue, of course. Tony Storm of the Outsiders. I think that's what they're calling themselves, the Outsiders.
Yeah, I think so. But wasn't another group called the Outsiders?
I think so. They're we get, oh my God, main event, match of the week.
No, I'm wrong. We're wrong. It's the Outcasts. They're the Outcasts.
The Outcasts. Sorry, the Outcasts. I prefer the Outsiders. And Storm Blue, Storm Blue. That should be a wrestler.
Storm Blue.
Jesus Christ. Tony Storm, Sky Blue. Of course, Tony Storm picking up the win.
Yeah.
And then we have match of the night, match of the week, match of the month. As far as I'm concerned right now, match of the effing year.
You know what? I totally agree with you on this. This was freaking amazing.
Folks, if you have not gone online and looked up AEW, and don't look up the highlights. Don't look up the highlights. Highlights are great. Chef's kiss. Watch the whole effing match. Kenny Omega versus El Hijo de Vikingo. And that match, bro, this guy is the AAA champion right now, the AAA mega champion, the champion of champions. This guy is going to be the next big thing in professional wrestling. Like, this guy is on the top of the top, rising, the cream, the best of the best. God damn.
It was so good. It was so freaking good. Like, he pulled off moves I had never seen before. I didn't even know moves that this was possible to do. You know what I mean? It was amazing.
How about the shooting star press from the apron?
Yes. Oh,
dude, the things this guy does on the ropes is just it's child's play to him.
The springboard backwards hurricanrana.
Yeah.
He's Oh my God! Yeah,
the running rope. What was it, like 630 through the table, where he almost hit his head on the back of the back of his head on the ring? Like,
it's amazing, man.
This guy is amazing. Is spectacular, and I cannot say enough good things about him. I'm so excited. Next Friday, I'm going to be at Ring of Honor Supercard, where he's facing Commander. I just found out it's going to be Samoa Joe versus Mark Briscoe for the ROH TV Championship, and Claudio Castagnoli taking on Eddie Kingston for the ROH Heavyweight Championship. Like, this is a stacked card right now. The only championship match I don't know is I don't know the 6-man tag, and I don't know if the women's is going to be defended. And frankly, I hope it isn't.
I got you, man.
I don't like Athena.
I love Athena. That's my boo. I liked her as Ember Moon better than Athena, but she was Athena first.
Didn't like her as Ember Moon. Don't like her as Athena. I liked her even less as Ember Moon, probably.
Anyway, there you have it. That is this week in wrestling. The recap, and of course, we've had already said it. The match of the week
Year.
is dead. Yeah, year
Match of
is.
2023 right now, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll agree with that. So far, it is definitely Kenny Omega versus Vikingo. Is that how you say it?
El Hijo de Vikingo.
There you go. I'm horrible with names, so I had to make
The
sure I said it right.
son of the Viking.
Okay, that's why he was wearing Viking
Yeah, because
attire.
his father in Mexico is known as Vikingo. And you can go
Okay,
look up his stuff, and he's just the Viking.
the
And
Viking.
in Mexico, he's amazing. Like he's yeah, go look him up.
All right. Well, as we come to a close, Steve, where can people find you on your podcast?
The last podcast you'd want. That's pretty much says it all, right? No, we
Yep.
talk about entertainment, movies, video games, TV, all things pop culture related. You go back to my older episodes where I do an old school I can't talk interview format. Episodes half hour, 45. Some episodes are two-parters because they were 3 hours and I wasn't
Oh
going to make
yeah.
someone try and listen to that in one episode. So great things, names you recognize, some you don't. Other than that, tip the field, try the staff. Thank you all for coming. And if you didn't, better luck next
All
time.
right. Make sure you check out my podcast, Back to the Retro Review, where we review movies from the 80s and 90s. Also do some unboxings. The Mod Squad Network. Check that out. We have a horror show. We have a movie talk Monday. We have a wrestling show, of course, and we have a Saturday Night Live where we do giveaways every Saturday night. All right, that does it for this episode of the Mod Squad Network. Layeth the squad down. So for Steve, I'm Kevin saying keep on wrestling, everybody.
Bye.